Hi, everybody. Master Toby Milroy here again, publisher for Martial Arts World News Magazine. And thanks so much for watching Martial Arts Business Innovations. It really does help us out a lot if you click like and subscribe and maybe even hit the bell notification icon on your screen right now. It does help sort of goose the YouTube and the Facebook algorithm and help this video reach more school operators who we might be able to help. So please go ahead and like and subscribe and do all that stuff. Hit the notification bell so that you get notified anytime we post new content. We're really working hard to speak with some of the most successful school operators in the world and bring you some of the biggest innovations in running your martial arts business. So thanks so much. Hit the notification and bell icon and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Welcome to Martial Arts Industry Innovations, presented by Martial Arts World News Magazine. Here, you'll get the latest news and information about the martial arts industry and discover the latest tools, tactics, innovations, business systems, teaching strategies, and much more to help you grow your school, career, or martial arts business. You'll also hear from some of the most successful school owners, innovators, instructors, industry influencers, and thought leaders in the world, sharing proven strategies and solutions to take your martial arts school or business to new heights. Join our mission at Martial Arts World News Magazine to raise the standards of martial arts business professionalism throughout the world.
Yeah, huge fan of the unexpected, unpromised free bonus.
Exactly right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. And if you can make it personal, they play football or they play baseball or they play golf, and you can send them a Golf Digest magazine subscription, which I think they're like $6 or $8.
Yeah,
they're so cheap nowadays.
Yeah.
Hey, I thought about you the other day and I picked this up for you. You're going to get one in the mail every other month. What? You bought me a subscription to the magazine just because you know me?
Yeah.
No, because
best
I know
$6 you ever spent.
Right. The kid plays ball. Monday, I see him. Monday, I'm afraid he walks in the door. I'm going to say, hey, how'd your game go Saturday? Did you guys win? Give me 5. Well done. You didn't win? That's okay. You'll get them next time. You talk to them about their outside world. You notice Mrs. Jones always has her nails all done up real nice. Buy her a gift certificate. Say, here, I noticed your nails are all great. I picked up a gift certificate. A friend of mine owns a shop down the street here. I want to give you this. A new uniform every year. On their anniversary, come on in. I want to give you a new uniform. Why? You gave me $2,500 last year, is why.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But what's a uniform cost me? You just do things extraordinary.
Yeah, we here in Orlando, we're in the sort of land of the Disney, right? And you can see, for anybody who has been watching any the news or any coverage on Disney, when you switch Iger for Chapek, Iger was trying to do everything they possibly can to make the experience magical, and Chapek was worried about the bottom line and satisfying investors, right? Satisfying the shareholders. Well, look at what happened to the guest experience, and look at what happened to the company, right? I mean, now they're trying to turn things around. I mean, they're doing a lot of things again now that we saw go away. But it's those unexpected little things that make people say, "Wow, they didn't have to do that." It's so nice,
right?
It's
got to be magical.
Beautiful.
Got to be magical.
Yeah. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Next phase.
But that's just it. That is the phase is becoming an instructor, and then having a real instructor training program.
Right.
Something that teaches them not just how to teach martial arts, how to transform people's lives, how to help them become more than they thought they could be. We teach the life skills as part of the regular program, but the next level to that is leadership skills that, it transforms their life, because they're no longer just learning a life skill. They're transferring that life skill to their students. The experience of being a teacher, being a martial artist, learning scripts. All of our students need to learn a script.
Yeah.
And the script is, do you take karate? How do they answer that now? Yeah, sure do. Where? XYZ. Tell me about it. It's expensive. Man, it costs a lot of money. That's all they know to say. They don't know what else to say. So we teach them what to say. You know, I take karate at Super Kicks Karate. It's a lot of fun. My instructor, Master Davis, teaches us a lot more besides kicks and punches. We learn about confidence and discipline and structure. Can I give you a free pass to my school? We teach we give them all a little script paper. Say, here, memorize this. Just like they memorize a student oath. Memorize what to say when someone says, do you take karate? It's important that you know what to say. So is it okay to teach people how to learn scripts? Yeah. Give them the tools necessary to become raving fans. And that's what we want. We want students that, and to be quite frank, we teach multiple disciplines in our schools. And we have Krav Maga and Kali and karate and kickboxing, and most of the schools teach multiple disciplines, and we belt them in every level. So sometimes they may go to graduation and get 3 or 4 different belts in different disciplines, you know. So and I don't really care. I don't care what they study. I'm a martial artist. I don't care whether I'm shooting a firearm or whether I'm throwing an axe. I'm still having fun doing martial arts, and that's what we want for our students. It's not, this is the way we do it, this is the only way we do it, and we're the only one that's right in the world. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
You know?
I find folks, I'm going to draw a slight parallel between us, Grandmaster Arthur, but I find that folks who have experience with more than one style, typically early on in their career, tend to be quite open-minded about this kind of thing. You know, you as you well know, and we both know, if you had a room of 100 martial artists, 50 Korean stylists, and 50 Japanese stylists, and someone dare to suggest that you should chamber your counterforce hand by the rib, parallel to the solar plexus, the Japanese stylists would spit and scream and argue and yell and fight and punch each other, and and vice versa, because they want you to chamber here. But in my view, I just want you to do the thing that you're supposed to do, right? So whichever philosophy it is that you think is the right one, then that's it every time. No deviation every time, but whichever one. I mean, it's fine with me.
I used to tease, rest in peace, Joe Lewis. We were pretty close, and he would always talk about how you angle and you step and you do it and you work the techniques. And I used to tease him. I said, Joe, I've seen you fight a lot of times, but I ain't never seen you do any of that stuff that you talk about in your seminar. It doesn't always equate what you do, what you practice, and what you actually perform with. And it's really got to be a level of recognition that, look, everything works and nothing works.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of the practitioner and what you're doing with it. So it was, yes, I believe in multiple styles.
I mean, it hasn't even, even things like UFC, I mean, with all of its charms, both positive and negative, it really is about, the practitioner. I mean, now if you look at the thing, it's almost come full circle where now the sport karate guys are really, doing really well in there now. So it's really kind of it's all about the practitioner, man. Oh, yeah. And by the way, TJ, Gary, thank you guys so much for the comments. I appreciate it. Gary was saying that he's teaching firearms in his school, and he follows a similar approach to what we were describing. And TJ said something about I think just great info. So he appreciated what you were talking about. I appreciate that, guys.
Yeah.
Feel free to drop a comment in the chat over there. It helps us. It helps in a lot of ways. But I appreciate that. Okay, so let's talk maybe give some folks some practical advice that might be useful. So it's enrolling students, retaining them, renewing them, and keeping them forever, right? And having that retention. So what would you say, maybe, if you looked at your schools and you looked at your operators? And by the way, these are all things that you're going to be talking about at this type of an event, right? At least informally. What does that seem like? So there's an instructor track and a physical track. Is there an owner track? How does that work?
The first day of their training is on a Friday.
Yep.
And that's just for instructors. It's for professionals who want to learn the inside understanding on how to run the business better. It's not physical training. It's strictly business. Friday night will be a tournament from 6 until the rest of the night, how long it takes. And then Saturday all day, it's physical training. Saturday night we have a banquet. I'm going to give away at least $1,000. We're going to do a raffle. Not a raffle. It's if you come, you're automatically registered for it. I said to them, if we can get the more, it's going to be a progressive raffle. The more people who come, the more money we'll give away. My goal is to give away 10,000 that night. And then Sunday all day, Saturday night is the banquet. Sunday will be the another day of training. So in essence, it's a 3 days of camaraderie, training, learning, growing. You know, one price covers everything, and we're going to give them all their swag. They're going to get their backpack and their T-shirts and their training equipment, all the tools that we use to teach with. I'm not going to give them an airsoft gun, but I'm just short of that. We're giving them everything. But it's not like they're going to come in and got to buy a bunch of stuff, or I'm going to nickel and dime them. Everybody's registered. We make them register at least 6 weeks in advance, by June the 15th, because I have to buy all this stuff, get it printed, get it in place, and get it organized. And I can't do that in 2 weeks, especially with the supply chain now the way it is. It just, you need a little extra time for it.
Yeah, 100%. So if I'm an owner / instructor, and I'd said it like that because remember that, you know, all of your instructors should be empowered with these operational fundamentals as well, right? Even if they only teach a couple classes a week. I don't particularly like that model, but even if that's the case, even if they're only teaching a couple of classes a week, they are contributing to the bottom line. They are responsible for student retention. They are responsible for student, ascension, right? So they have to understand this stuff too. So you've got a full day of training for those guys, and then coming up after that, you've got both physical and instructional training as well.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You know, most organizations train people to black belt, and then they start recruiting them to be instructors.
Yeah.
So you automatically lose 90% of the people because they're not there at black belt. We start them at white belt and tell them, you're going to make a great instructor one day.
Yeah.
When you learn this, you're going to learn to teach this in series. You're going to learn. We talk to them in terms of when you become an instructor, because that's what we are. We're not just a black belt school. We're an instructor training academy, and we take that very seriously. We want to turn out more instructors. There's a great lack of instructors in the martial arts industry. You don't believe me? Try to hire one. They don't exist.
Yeah.
You know, you just can't find them. So we start training them from white belt, and that white belt can be at the door, meeting people, calling them by their name, welcoming them. You know, that leadership student can walk up to somebody he doesn't know and say, "Hi, I'm John. I'm one of the leadership students here, and you are?" That camaraderie, that building that connection is just as important as that instructor is on deck.
As I started working with Harry and Friends, boy, my complete 180, much better than I could deliver by myself. Much better content.
Well, Harry is a godsend. Harry is like a virtual staff member.
The kids are just more excited. When it's time to do the mat chat, a lot of times it used to be verbal, but now we have the visual.
Right.
And they can relate to this guy.
We have been a long-time Harry and Friends customer with our little ninjas going on, we think, around 10 years now.
How many schools do you guys have that are using Harry and Friends? 5 schools. Excellent. And how do the kids react? How do the parents react?
They love it.
Harry is a big part of our We Warriors program. Kids love him. They will do things that he says that won't do if we tell them to, and they definitely won't do it if their parents tell them to. Makes the parents a little jealous, but they love him too. Check it out, guys. You got to do Harry and Friends.
Okay, everybody. Where is Harry today? It's great. At Martial Arts.
Check out the latest issue of Martial Arts World News Magazine, the industry trade journal for martial arts school owners and instructors at mawnews.com. And now, back to our show.
Yeah. Can a green belt hold the paper correctly? Can a green belt hold a pad correctly? There's all sorts of things.
Right.
I'm glad you mentioned it, because I think if all of us really thought back to our own training, there was something that an instructor said to us. There was them tapping us on the shoulder, them pointing out. For me, I remember like it was yesterday. It was 1981, probably, and I had practiced that spin hook kick for months in front of the television watching Shokasugi or something like that, right? Yeah. And the instructor saw it, and he goes, wow, that's really good. I remember like it was yesterday, right? Yeah. We all have that. So are you creating that for your students? And not only are you creating it, but can you create it intentionally? Can you have the intent? Every instructor on the floor has that intentional action in their mind every day. Why not, right? I mean, we're all going to, they will remember this. This is incredible, you know?
Right. You should be driven not by your problems, but led by your goals. If you don't have a goal of creating a better customer experience, then you won't know what you're not doing. When you think, I really want to do a better customer experience, your eyes will see and your ears will hear things that you never thought of before. It's just with any goal. Yeah. With any goal, that's the way it works. You're led by your goals. So set a goal to have an experience for that person that they want to tell people about you. And that's good business.
Yeah. You know, that's one of the things that I just did an interview with someone, another podcast, and they asked me what I thought the biggest problem in the martial arts industry was, right? And it took me a few minutes, right? And I probably let way too much dead air happen, but I said, here's what I think the real biggest problem is. If I boiled it down and tried to put a pin on it, it was that far too many martial artists and martial arts instructors, of course, school operators, fall in love with their style, not fall in love with the customer. And I think really what you're describing is you've got to put the student at the center of the universe. Yeah, of course, we all love our style. We all love the physical things that we're doing. We all love this stuff. Don't for a minute think I'm diminishing that. I think you should elevate the student above that. What's best for them? And am I intentionally focused on that with every fiber of my being and every operational principle in the school and every teaching strategy and every lesson and every class plan? Does everything revolve around that? So I think that's what you're describing. I think it's pretty damn useful for folks.
There's a book, Dreamweaver. It talks about that very point, is you've got to be a dream weaver. And I don't care what it is you want. If I can't give you, let me help you get there. Even as one of my instructors, they may be working for me, running the school, teaching it, but that's not really what they want to do. They really want to do something else. Then you keep doing what you're doing, and I'll help you get to where you want to be. I want to help you become what you want. But if I don't know what that is, I can't help you. That's why it's important. Communication is so important.
Yeah, I love it. So enrollments, renewals, retention, quality. What would you say right now? Well, actually, you're going to cover all this at the event, so I don't want to spoil any of the real story.
They're not going to remember it anyway.
Well, instead, let's have a little bit of fun. What would you say the biggest breakthrough you've ever had in your career has been so far in the business?
It was learning a script was the biggest breakthrough. You think you know what to say. You think that's not the way I say it.
Yep.
I know. Yep. You don't say it real good. You learn to say the right things the right way, and you make every word on purpose. You don't wing it. You only wing it as long as you have to. You memorize and practice to the point that you got it perfected. Remember what I said, all marketing is communication. You just can't wing it. You can, but your success rate won't be so high. Knowing what you're supposed to say and when you're supposed to say it and how you're going to say it and practicing the body language that goes with it, all those things add up to you do a better job of marketing.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, how congruent is that with the physical martial arts, right? You don't go into the ring and wing it, right? You've practiced that. When I see that back leg start to move, my spin hook kick is already there, right? I already know. You've practiced it, you've drilled it, you've made it. We all know what happens when we're under adrenal stress. We don't perform our best, right? So we have to have those things in the autonomic system, not the conscious.
Yep.
I love it. That's a great answer. If you were talking to somebody who's just starting out in the industry now, based on your experience, what advice would you give them?
The biggest mistake I ever made was not buying every building I was ever in. That's the biggest mistake I made, is to buy the real estate. Be the McDonald's. They talk about McDojo. Yeah, McDonald's owns the property, and the franchisee runs the business and pays a percentage for that property. That's the biggest mistake I ever made. But as far as somebody first coming into it, find a mentor.
Yeah.
Find somebody who's already been where you want to be, who can share with you, who wants to.
Yeah.
Someone who says, "Look, I want to help you. I want to weave your dream. I don't care what it is. You don't need 5,000 square feet. You need 1,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no building available. We've opened up locations in motel rooms multiple times. We've opened up a location in the back of the tattoo parlor. They may not seem like great locations, but if we had the marketing right, then if you're not afraid to invite somebody to join your school, then you can make it. If you are timid about that, Zig Ziglar says timid salespeople have skinny kids.
Yeah, skinny kids. Yeah, yeah.
Right. You got to be. If you think, well, I'm gonna open up and I get my door and I get my sign up, and all I got to do is wait for them to pour in the door, we'll end up taking over your building and putting a school in there.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to make it. You can't spend enough money to do it in marketing. You have to. We looked back at what we've done as far as where did our members come from. We came up with about 75 different ways that we got new students. Well, we put that on a chart, and we make it a point to review that because their members are out there. That is how we harvest members. Right now, there's about 1% of the people in your community looking for classes today.
Right.
You just got to find that 1%. Now, you might need to kiss 99 frogs to find that one prince, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with someone saying, no, it's not for me. I understand. Next. Some will, some won't. So what? Next.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do. You got to be aggressive about telling people what you offer.
Yeah.
You're in the business of sales and marketing. If you don't know it, start reading. Start buying books, studying sales. If you have a mentor, they'll probably have a script manual. That's the first book you memorize.
Yeah. Yeah.
You memorize it. And I give my guys 30 days. That's a page a day, 30 pages, and you will pretty much have it under your belt. Will you have it down? No, it'll be 3 years before you'll have it like we want it. But you got to start there. So if you're opening up a school or thinking about doing it, find a mentor. And there's a lot of great mentors out there. That's what's so nice. Back in the 68, didn't exist.
Well, you found the one, right? You found the one there was.
I answered an ad. That's right.
Crazy, right? Wow. Yeah, very cool. I love it. I think it's fantastic advice. That's the fastest way to shorten a learning curve, right? I mean, otherwise it takes you 50 years, to figure this stuff out. It's insane. It's insanity.
Yep.
You've got a lot of stuff going on, right? You've got the schools, the association, the instructors. You've got staff to deal with, students to deal with, families to deal with. You have a lot going on.
Isn't it great? I'm living the life.
Right?
Yeah, I'm living the life.
A lot of folks who open schools early on maybe come from a different career. Maybe they had a corporate career and they transitioned. Maybe they were a cop or a firefighter and they transitioned. Or maybe, they come from different walks of life.
Sure.
And some people think, that, well, I want to set my own hours. I want to, take vacations when I want to. I want to, spend more time with family and kids. So I'm going to open up my own business, right? They think that that's how that works. So I think we all of us, to some degree, have to face the reality of, there being way too many things that need to be done that I have hours for in the day. For some people, that can lead to overwhelm. And I think that you manage that really well. In our industry, I think you're a good example of how to manage it well. How do you do that? How do you face that? How do you deal with that? And how do you balance things like a business life and a personal life and all these other things, hobbies, things that you have going on?
Yeah. Master Clark says, you build a life that you don't need a vacation from. You build a life that you want. People say, well, I want more vacations. You can have that. And I encourage my guys to take at least a week off every 3 months. But I really want them to have boundaries on their work. And whether you work 3 days or 4 days a week and say, okay, that's my boundary. I'm going to do that. You have to work those 4 days. You can't show up. You can't show up in the morning with a Danish and a cup of coffee, and then go sit in your office and wonder where the money is because you're not able to count it. You got to have a plan. You got to lay out the plan. You got to know what a plan is, and that comes from a mentor. That comes from somebody who's already been there. And it says, the average entrepreneur, as I understand it, works 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. Is that what you want? If it's not, then maybe that ain't right for you. And there again, it's how much do you want to earn? That has a lot. I want to open up in my hometown of Podunk, Virginia, and I don't understand why I'm not making $100,000 a month. Yeah, because you didn't open up in the metropolis. Is why.
Yeah.
It isn't you. It ain't you. It ain't your systems. It's not any of that. It's your market. I've moved guys from Lynchburg into great markets, and their goal now is $250,000 a month. They did 1/10 of that.
Yeah.
In Lynchburg.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of variables that a mentor will, I like to call them potholes, they'll keep you from running into, because they can show you, they can talk to you and tell you the things that you need to be aware of. And then your own teaching skills. People think that I learned it that way, so that's the way I should be teaching it. Probably not. You probably need to think in terms of how to build rapport with the parents and the students, and how your structure is going to work on that floor, and how you're going to teach the black belt attributes, not just do it harder, stop using the word good job or awesome, which means nothing. You've got to give real feedback, and those things come because you've been taught how to do it.
Hey son, let's do something different this weekend. How about we take in a museum?
Yeah, that sounds good.
We could learn about the samurai. Yeah! Or how about the Hawaiian Lua warriors? Ooh, the mighty sumo! Hey, how about the Martial Arts History Museum? That way we can learn about them all.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Do you feel like you're getting crushed under the tremendous weight of managing your martial arts school? Crawl out from beneath the burden and reach your potential. Lighten the load and let Atlas Martial Arts Software do the heavy lifting. Visit tryatlassoftware.com to see for yourself and get 7 free gifts valued at over $400.
Stay informed while on the go with daily news in the Martial Arts World News Magazine mobile app for Apple and Android devices. Find us in your app store. And now, back to our show.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Yeah, work-life balance, I don't think is the right way to think about it. It's work-life congruence. It's how congruent are they, right? Why would I want to do something, even for a few hours a day that I just hate, and I want to get away from it as fast as I can. I mean, it doesn't make sense. This might not be the thing for you. You may want to think about something else. I like it. We're quickly running out of time, but if you have just a couple of minutes, what do you think? You've been in this industry 50 plus years, achieved certainly a level of success that a lot of people I think are aiming at. What do you think the industry looks like in 5 years and then in 10 years? Where do you think we're going?
That's a really interesting question. I wished I had the crystal ball. I don't. I do know that some people seem to think that it's going to go to the soft arts, that the older age of our community is going to buy in on the Tai Chi type of movements, the yoga type stuff, that seems to be something, and maybe in a larger metropolitan area, that might be a market. In our market, we recognize that it's all about transforming their lives through life skills, through personal engagement with people. It ain't about the kicks and punches. Even now, it's not. It's more about what they get to become as a result of their training, and not what they get to do in their training. That's why I think that everybody has something different that they want. With children, of course, I think every parent wants their child to graduate from military academy. but nobody wants to send the kids away.
Yeah, that's right.
To military academy, you know. So we have to be kind of feel that we can do that military academy, and yet be a fun drill sergeant at the same time. I don't believe that, and I hate to use the term, McDojo is the route to go. I believe that the student needs to be able to defend themselves. I should be able to watch you do a kata and say, he can defend himself. Just from his intensity, just from his focus, just from his understanding of the dynamics of martial arts. And if you're sloppy on that stuff, then that can be fixed. But I think you need to be able to defend yourself. From 0 to 1,000 yards. That's our theme of our retreat. Defend yourself from 0 to 1,000 yards. If you can't use a firearm, you might want to learn. You got to use a knife, you might want to learn. Are kicks and punches great? Yes. But you need to know it all.
Yeah.
So
I 100% agree. Which, by the way, we'll put it up on the screen earlier in the show too. But where do I go to get more information about the Lynchburg event?
Okay, you can go to my website, which is afkaonline.net.
I'll make sure I have links in the description and all that sort of stuff as well. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool.
afkaonline.net. And there's an events page there that you can go and register online. Do it before the 15th of June.
Yeah, very good. Got to order swag. I got it.
I'm surprised. People are registering every day now. So I say I'm surprised. This is, we started doing our marketing about 3 months out, and people are buying in on it right away. So I know that they're coming. And when they register, I send them their swag. I mail them everything they need. They're going to get a backpack. They get their weapons. I don't mail them. We're going to do Joe training too, the 4-foot bow. So I don't mail that to them, but we'll give them that when they get here.
They kill you on shipping. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm posting the link in the comments now, and then we'll make sure we have it up on the video as well. Very cool. So before we wrap, I guess 2 quick items. There's a lot of other more entertaining things I want to talk about. I'd like for us to talk about maybe in a future session. We'll have to get together again in a couple of months. Maybe after the event, we'll do a little follow up. In fact, I actually might be up in that area. I'm going to North Carolina the week before, so I might be close to you guys up there. I may swing by.
Love to have you.
Oh, it'll be fantastic. I'll see if I can.
I'll even do it for free.
Well, I mean, But anyway, on a more entertaining topic, I think it's important. Something I think about a fair bit more now than I ever have before, and I'll probably think about more as time goes on. But how do you want to be remembered in the industry? What do you want your legacy to be?
Gee whiz.
Is that something you think about?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't think of it in the industry. When I think about my legacy, I think about what my family thinks.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm. Because my daughter, what is she going to remember? What is my son-in-law? What is my, what do my kids think? More than, and at my age, you start thinking that way.
Well, part of the reason I ask is my mother passed about a year ago in March. I have that part of my family. I'm losing family members right and left. Every year I text message everybody in my contact list on Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's and a few other things, and I find myself cleaning out more numbers every year as time goes on. And June Ree, a few years ago, I had to take him off the list, and I just I'm 50 now, which is nothing. It's not 50 is like the new 20, I guess. But now I start thinking, well, what are people going to say around my grave? What's that going to sound like?
Yeah,
it's interesting enough. Who in your circles should we have on the show? Who in yours maybe sphere of influence should we have as a guest that might be useful for school operators and instructors?
I think one of the most successful operators that I know of is Don Alley.
Don's a trip.
Don Alley. If you haven't tuned into the Don Alley show, that's worth the price of admission every day. I mean, it's on YouTube. The Don Alley show. It's just Master Alley show, I think is what it is. It's a lot of fun. He's the most disciplined person I think I've ever raised.
Yeah.
And I've had him since he was a child. He's the guy that's looking for $250,000 a month. You know, not many people even consider that.
Yeah.
They like to do that per year.
Yeah.
And he would be a great interview because he's not afraid to talk.
Yeah.
You know, and I know you've had Grandmaster Clark on, haven't you?
Yep. A couple times.
Yeah.
We need to get him back on again. Yeah. His event is going really well up there too. Yeah. A lot going on up there.
I go there every time they open the doors.
Yeah.
They're going to be end of April. He's got the event, the Warrior Program. I tell everybody that if you've never been, just go one time.
Yeah.
And you'll never not go again.
Yeah.
Every time they do it, you go, I'm going. It's worth it. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do with the retreat. I want people to come to it, and it's such a great experience that they're like, when's the next one? This was great. And you keep reproducing it.
Yeah, this may not be appropriate to say meaning like I might not have this exactly right with what you're accomplishing up there. But one of the things that Master Clark and I talked about, years ago and recently was, we all got so focused on teaching kids, right? Because that really is where kind of the core of the market is, right? That's, 70% of the market is under 14 years old, 13 years old, that kind of thing. And we all got so focused on that many of us, especially sort of us orphans, right? If you maybe don't have a parent organization or whatever the case is, or it's in flux or whatever, we got so focused on teaching kids that we kind of forgot to focus on teaching ourselves and adults and people who are sort of in that. Maybe they're not 19-year-old super athletes that want to go to the Olympics, but they're, 25 to 35 to 45 to 55, martial artists that really want to do something that's more edgy than what we're teaching our kids today. And what he's doing with the Warrior System and what you guys are doing with this AFK event kind of fills that void, right? Like it gives adults, I guess, a chance to really go do martial arts again, right?
Do some John Wick stuff.
Yeah, right? Come on.
That's the fun stuff. That's what I always wanted to learn.
It's so good. It's so good. Well, sir, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time again today. Thanks so much for blocking it out for us. Thanks so much for all the contributions. I've got a few notes over here. I'll get transcribed and put up in the comments for everybody. For anybody who is in the chat area right now, if you look at the comment section, actually somebody's in there, a couple of them are in there now. TJ's in there now. There's a link to the AFKA event page. You can get registered there. I'll have it up on the video here when we roll on YouTube and things like that as well. And if not, happy to answer any questions anybody has about any of that stuff in our sort of forum, in our group and things like that, and our members. Very cool. Okay. Thank you again, sir. Really appreciate the time. Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
And I've got a thing to do here. So thank you, sir, again. Thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. Thanks everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
This has been a Martial Arts Industry Innovations production, presented by Martial Arts World News Magazine.